Oh! I think this thing's on. I don't know why I always do the Tony Soprano, oh! Every time I go live. It just feels like the right thing to do. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to February 5th, 2025, the Yammie Noob live stream. This is episode 18, I believe. Logan, Pacific Northwest. The Grom video was the most fun I've seen you have on a bike in the 3 or 4 years I've been watching. Cheers from Lemmy Winks on the Discord. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. Yeah, I gotta, the Grom thing has been like, you gotta keep it fun. You gotta keep it fresh. And, I don't know, I think putting yourself out there and, humbling yourself a little bit, not taking life too seriously, it's been a lot of fun. And I was out there practicing again today. We're racking up more footage. I think the next episode will drop in about 2 weeks as I collect more footage. I still haven't quite got that rear brake. It's going to take some time. Roach said, Dad? Oh, I am a dad now, so maybe. I'm an actual dad. I made all the dad jokes for years, but now literally a dad with an adventure bike. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Danny said, oh, it's Yammie. Get the F out of here. Oh, get the gabagool. Kurikobushi said, literally watching your latest video and then this notification pops up. Well, this one's better. You can always check that one out, but being live in person here is definitely the way to do it. I'm very excited to do this stream. It's funny, sometimes before the stream, I'm kind of like, all right, look, let me hype myself up. But then I get into it and I'm like, oh my God, I have the best job in the world. This is great. I get to just dick around with bikes, talk about them, and for some reason, people want to listen to me. I will try to make it as fun and as exciting and as funny as I possibly can for you. Sean here says, I'm digging the Grom stuff. You need a monkey or a TW200. Dude, don't even tempt me. I have like an obsession with mini motos right now, and every time I see a TW200, I'm like, I should just buy it. I should just get it. It could be hilarious. And then I'm like, what am I going to do with that thing? I only have the one butt. I can't ride all these damn bikes. I was just at the dealership last week picking up the next giveaway bike. Spoiler alert, it's the 2025 MT-07. Pretty sweet ride. And they had a TW200 right next to it on the showroom floor. And I was like, dude, I want to buy a T-Dub so bad. Want to buy a T-Dub so bad, boys. We're officially in the pre-stream hang right now, so we'll just chat a little bit while the folks trickle in for a little bit. Danny says, it's your soothing voice, Yam. I don't really know if my voice is that soothing. I get kind of mixed reviews on the voice. I think sometimes I can make it very smooth and silky, but I think it's kind of mid, if I'm being frank. It's okay. Rotting Pumpkin says, KTM's business issues scared me, and I traded my Super Duke 1290 for an MT-09. Please validate me and let me feel like I didn't make a mistake. I don't think you made a mistake. I personally would prefer having an MT-09 over a Super Duke, but the reason to get that is a bit strange. I'm not sure if that holds water. I don't think they're going to like wholesale go out of business, but I don't know. I think MT-09 is more fun than a Super Duke, personally. Yeah. Sean says, those T-dubs look super fun, kind of like a Jeep, slow but capable. Yeah, like that big, just like tractor tire at the rear. So sick. So sick. Ron Swanson, seeing someone document their process of learning to wheelie has made me feel far more comfortable about finding balance point on MT-07 whenever the snow here in Canada melts. You should do it. It's so much easier on a little bike, I'll tell you that, but the MT-07 is a very willing dance partner for wheelies. You can do clutch ups in third gear with that thing. I can't get it to balance point in third gear, but I have clutched it up in third gear and chased one out pretty good. It loves second gear wheelies. That bike is so easy to just do second gear, little chase them out, pow pow type of things. But I would be a little afraid to do like slow speed on the MT-07. I don't have the skills for that, so yeah. Who else aren't here? What are you guys saying? Lou Stella says, feels like we're past most of the big announcements. Any bikes coming out this year you're pumped for that haven't gotten a ton of attention? I wouldn't say that they haven't gotten a ton of attention, but honestly, I think Yamaha totally dropped the ball on the R9 coming out like late this year now. They're basically missing the whole 2025 riding season. I think dealers are only going to get those in like September or October. And for a lot of people, that's when the season's kind of ending. So the bike is in World Supersport now, so they're getting a bunch of publications and people are seeing them, but nobody has one yet. So it's like, well, the hype train's kind of dying. And I think that new Panigale V2 is pretty sweet. I think that's going to take a lot of the limelight off of the R9, personally. I'm personally much more interested in the Panigale V2 just because I can get one much more soon than an R9. So I think in terms of hype and kind of like excitement factor, Yamaha dropped the ball a little bit on the R9. But I'll tell you what, man, this 2025 MT-07, I've got it in the garage right now. I've been riding it. It is a sleeper hit, dude. That bike, they did a lot of good work on that thing. The front end feels good now. The brakes feel good now. The chassis is more rigid and just more dialed in. I rode it on track, and I was like, this actually works really well. This is a respectable machine. An MT-07, that was unthinkable for the prior generation. So, honestly, that one, I'm telling you, that one's going to be a sleeper hit. J Momoto says, canceled mine in favor of a V2S. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. Logan says, Yamaha missed the MT-10 revamp. I know. I'm really waiting for when they're going to revamp that bike a little bit because the styling has to go. They got to ditch those goggle, disgusting eyelashes, whatever that bike has. It is so horrendously ugly. I know. People like it. I never have. If they just give the MT-07 style, the MT-09 style on it, that new, like, it always kind of looks like Iron Man a little bit. That little, like, LED light thing. Just do that. Just do that, please. Please just do that. Jake Shepard says, first live I've joined. Much love from Georgia. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cameron says, just picked up a 23 MT-09. Can't wait for the snow to leave. That's a great bike. You're going to have a ton of fun with that thing. It was 70 degrees today here in Texas, which is pretty sweet. So that was pretty fun. Sometimes I forget that we're a little spoiled here in the South, but then summer comes around and I'm like, why do I live in this place? Why do I live in Satan's butthole? It's so hot here in the summer, dude. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've lived here for almost 20 years and I'm still not used to it. Every summer just feels biblically hot. It's like God is punishing people for living here. It's ridiculous. Some Texas news, by the way, boys. For those of you who live in the state or know about my personal life a little bit, as we wait another 3 or 4 minutes for the stream to start. Some of you may know that I moved to DFW recently. So I've been here in the Dallas area, came up for family, we bought a house up here, sold our house in Austin, did this whole thing. It turns out that your Papa Yam may or may not be missing Austin quite a bit. And it turns out that my lady also was missing Austin quite a bit. And we may be a little crazy, but we were like thinking about it. And we said, do you just want to go back? Is that crazy? Is that just stupid? And we bit the bullet. And so we're going back to Austin now. So your Papa Yam is going back to the hill country, back to Austin, where I feel like I belong, I guess. So this short little stint in DFW is coming to a close here in February, and I will be back in Austin. You guys will see the tried and true hill country routes again on the videos. The flat earth here in Dallas has been a little sad. So yeah, some personal news on me moving back to Austin. Very excited for that. Sean Lynn here says, I'm newer to your channel, but I'm curious if you own any Harleys at all. I prefer the cruisers, but respect sport bikes. I'm looking to getting a dual sport in addition to my ultra limited bike. So I don't currently own any Harleys. I've owned 2 or 3 for giveaway bikes, and I had them for a little bit, and I've ridden and reviewed quite a few. They're just not really my, thing. I've talked about this a lot on the channel. I made a whole Harley video. You can go and check that out. I totally think, if you want to ride one, I love Sportsters. I think they're really neat. The big touring bikes are great at what they do. They've just never been my thing, really. If I'm going to do long distance, I'll just get an adventure bike. So that's my thought on it. Max C. Bear, I'm excited to get a Speed Twin 1200 in the near future, thanks to your recommendation. Never thought I'd consider a Triumph. Speed Twin 1200, that is a fantastic bike. Super fun, super peppy. That 1200 Bonneville engine is just awesome. Just velvety torque, so nice. Kirk Kobushi, I want to apologize to the Southerners. I moved from the Northwest to the South this year, but I guess the winter weather decided to follow me down. Dude, yeah, what are you thinking? It was like 7 degrees here one day. It's been very weirdly cold here. Did not like it. Lou Stella says, whoa, big move, but love that, even if you'll be further from the tracks. Yeah, I'll be further from ECR and Crescent. I'll be next to Coda, but I never ride Coda, really, because I don't really like Coda that much. too much red tape and a little too expensive per session for my taste. I prefer ECR and Crescent for sure. But I'm giving up proximity to the tracks, but I'm gaining like some decent roads to film on week over week. So, you know, that'll be a big change. We got some other really big changes too that I don't want to announce just yet because I'm waiting on some things, but I'll leave it to this. There will be some very new and interesting and sort of experimental content on Yammie Noob for 2025. I want to try some new stuff. You guys have seen the Grom videos, but there's some new concepts I want to give a try, and there's a lot more to say about that. But without further ado, let's get started, shall we? It's 6:10. Let's get the show on the road here, and let's go on to Rider Questions Answered. Okay, for those of you who may be new to the stream, new to the channel, that sort of thing, this is where I take questions from YouTube, from Instagram, from Discord. If you want to ask me anything in real time, Discord's the best way to do it. You join as a member on yammienoob.co. You can pick any of the subscription packages you want, and you get access to win the motorcycles, discounts on merch, discounts on your Twisted Road rentals, and all kinds of great stuff as well. You also get access to our newsletter, which is really, really fun too. A lot of cool, like, in-depth content on that. Producer Logan does a very good job on the newsletter. So become a member. You'll get all the entries to win the bikes. It's one of the best ways to support the show if you like what we do. That's my pitch for you. Let's get started. All right. Brian, not Brian, 88 on Instagram says, "Hey, Papa Yam, have you ridden any older Yamahas?" So let me cull through the 180 some odd bikes that I've ridden. The oldest Yamaha I have ridden was an original spec Yamaha VMAX. I think that was the oldest Yamaha that I've ever ridden. And by the way, guys, if you do have any questions, drop it on chat. I do try to check the chat over here. Sometimes it goes a little fast and I can't see it, but do drop a question if you have one for me. Anyways, older Yamahas, that would be the VMAX. That's the oldest one I've ridden. I think that's the oldest bike I've ridden in general. I've actually never ridden something from the 60s or 70s, if you guys can believe it. The oldest bike would have been from the 80s. It was that VMAX. Dude, at this point, I mean, I know people don't like it when I say this, but like a 2008 R6 is an older Yamaha. So, you know, kind of at that point now. WR250R, that bike wasn't meaningfully updated since 09, I think. And that was a bike that I owned that's a little older. So a little vague on the question here, but I think older Yamahas, yeah, definitely some nice gems in there for sure. Moving on. R3 Ha4NN on Instagram. Thoughts on the new R3 and BMW's new sub 500cc engine and its potential bikes? So this is a great question. You guys chime in over here. I'm curious to see y'all's thoughts on the new R3. I think Yamaha phoned it in a little bit, right? We got bold new graphics. We got some plastics, some new lights, tiny updates here and there. The engine's fundamentally the same since 2015, which isn't a bad thing. People are like, oh my God, it needs to be a 450. It needs to be cross-plane, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Does it need to be those things? There's nothing wrong with the 321cc R3 engine. It revs out really nice. It makes decent power. It's just not quite as spicy and fun as the new 500s, the 450 from Aprilia or CF Moto, but you're not going to have a bad time with it. And if you like the look of the bike, I'd say go for it, but it's looking a teensy bit outgunned. And BMW's new sub 500cc engine is very interesting. I think that's the engine this commenter is referring to in the new F450 GS. I certainly would like to see some cross-platforming with that bike. It'd be cool to see it in a little naked bike, maybe a beginner sport bike. That could be pretty interesting. It could be interesting to see, BMW do something in the beginner sport bike space. I don't really think they will, to be honest, but I was surprised that they did a little baby adventure bike, which our official stance now is to call them itsy-bitsy adventure bikes because insecure men get very upset when I call them baby bikes. But I think it's fun. The Grom is a baby bike. There's nothing wrong with baby bikes. They're for babies. Just kidding. Boris.gur on Instagram. Is it possible to start on a CBR 600RR after getting a tough license in Germany? Well, I hate to put this one to a poll, but I feel like this is a poll question if there ever was one. Can you start on a CBR 600RR? We're going to say yes, and then we're going to say no. So here's my thing. Obviously, a Turbo Busa is a better choice than a CBR 600RR for a beginner motorcycle. Everybody knows that a Turbo Busa is, enough power to grow into. It's nice and easy off the roll-on, builds boost over time. If you don't want to go fast, just don't get into boost. It's totally cool, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I'm being facetious for those of you in the audience that maybe don't know about the brand a little bit, but obviously a Turbo Busa is a bad motorcycle to start on. And here's the thing, CBR 600RR, it's possible to start on it after you get your license. I'm assuming you got the full A license, you're over 24, all that stuff. It's just not very fun to start on that, right? This is something that I think people don't talk about a lot, where it's like, just because something is quote-unquote possible to do doesn't mean it's the most fun or the most optimal decision or anything like that. Here's a perfect example, right? I don't know why my brain went to this. Probably because I'm in the middle of moving. Let's say you're going to go buy a house, right? You talk to your mortgage lender, and they're like, oh my God, you're approved for $1 million house. You can buy $1 million house. You're like, oh my God, it's possible for me to buy $1 million house. Is that a good idea? Just because it's possible for you to buy this house? Just because it's possible to do this? I don't like the question, is it possible? Of course it's possible. I think the better question is it optimal? Is it intelligent? Is it the right thing to do? I don't think so. I think if you like the 600 sound, get the CBR 650R. It's more comfortable. It makes the same 4-cylinder sound. The naked bike version is a fantastic motorcycle. I would say those are better options, honestly. So, I don't know. That's what I would say. It looks like 59% of the chat says, no, bad idea. So, closer than I thought, honestly. Kurkobushi for the $5. Thank you very much. How much riding experience would you recommend before ticketing a challenge such as Dragon's Tail? Tail of the Dragon, for those of you who don't know, is a very, very, very twisty road on the border of, is it Tennessee and North Carolina? I've never been there, so I'm not sure geographically where it is, but boys, call me out if I'm wrong, but I think it's Tennessee and North Carolina. It's right on the border there. Very popular road here in America, like tons of corners, really crazy. All that stuff. I think you should at least have maybe 2 years under your belt before attempting a road like that. It's pretty challenging, and there's traffic on it. You might get a little overwhelmed. I've seen lots of people eat it on that road. I would say maybe 2 years. Maybe 2 years experience, and then you can go. I mean, you can ride it really slowly and, within like 6 months of riding or whatever. But I think if you want to go have fun on it, I don't know, like 2 years. Something like that. J Momoto says, Tennessee, North Carolina. I was right. Nico E. Gilberti on Instagram. Should I modify a Honda SCL 500 for off-road as a real scrambler? Yes or no? My gut says no. I don't think it's going to be very fun to do that. I think that you're going to waste a lot of time and money with a motorcycle that is not very well suited to doing that. You could do whatever you want. You could take a bone stock SCL 500 Scrambler and go dick around on some forest roads. There are better tools for the job, even among scramblers, right? So I don't think it's worth it to modify it for off-road as a real scrambler. If you like the retro aesthetics and you want something a little bit more off-road capable, I mean, maybe you upgrade to a Triumph 1200 XE. I mean, those are pretty good, the scramblers. I don't know. You could try a couple different more like, real deal scramblers that would do a little better off-road. But I don't know if it's worth it to modify it personally. Doc on Two Wheels on Instagram. Do you think you'll get more into off-road riding BDR/2-track with the Touareg 660? I hope so. Time is a very limited commodity for me, unfortunately. And I've already got a really big trip planned to the Isle of Man this year. I would really love to do the Big Bend BDR. I've seen the routes for that. I've seen kind of what it looks like, and it definitely looks like something I can take on. But in all honesty, I don't really love off-road riding as much anymore. The big adventure bike stuff, I feel like it's just punishment for punishment's sake. If I'm going to ride off-road, I've always preferred dual sports and lightweight enduro bikes. I just find it more enjoyable. I really think adventure bikes really do very well when you mix the long distance travel thing with them with like some light gravel. I think that's like the perfect use case for them. So depending on how gnarly the 2-track is and the BDR stuff, maybe wouldn't want to try it with the Touareg, but I certainly want to use it. I've just been waiting for the weather to get a little bit more warmer, and now we're moving back to Austin, which is going to be a bit of a whirlwind, but once we're there, I certainly want to go out and do some longer trips with the Touareg. I'm really excited. Christian says, Papa Yams, I'll see you at the TT. Yes, let's go. I'm going to make a big announcement once that's like official and I have my tickets booked and all that, but it's basically semi-official at this point. But I do want to see you guys out there if you're going. I would be super fun to do like a big meetup of some sort and facilitate some stuff like that. All right, the local idiot .40. Great username. Does 8 years of mountain biking correlate with how to control a motorcycle? Great question. I got really interested in this kind of like cross-disciplinary thing a few years ago. I started cycling a lot. I tried my hand at mountain biking. It really wasn't for me. I don't know that much about mountain biking, but what I can tell you is that all two-wheeled vehicles kind of feel the same. They're very different, right? Like a road bike that's super lightweight and you pedal it, right? That's very different than a motorcycle. But fundamentally, if you're riding downhill on a mountain bike and you're kind of, leaning off the right way and all that stuff, like counter the other way, that's going to work better with like enduro riding and dirt bikes and that sort of thing. But I think it will certainly help with, being able to control a motorcycle, being able to think about the two-wheel thing. That's a lot of experience, 8 years of mountain biking. But you're going to basically feel like a motorcycle is this big, heavy pig of a thing compared to a mountain bike. So that's going to be the big difference for sure. All right, next question. That's a spicy meatball on Instagram. What is one type of bike that everyone should have in the stable, i.e. cruiser, sport bike, etc.? Chat, what do you think? Let me know what you think is one type of bike that everyone could have. I kind of have two thoughts around this. For me personally, I think there's two categories of motorcycle that would fit in almost anybody's stable. The first one is a dual sport. I think almost anybody could benefit from a dual sport because you get to do a little bit of dirt, increase your skill sets. They're cheap. They're easy to run, easy to take care of, super fun. You can do wheelies with them. I think dual sports are awesome. I think everybody could benefit from owning a dual sport. And you guys know my second bike because I've got one now. It's mini bikes, Groms, monkeys, that sort of thing. I think a mini moto, everybody should have one. And the reason I think that is because it, number one, gives you that joyful feeling of being on two wheels again in a totally low stakes environment. It's just fun. It's just joyful and fun. And that also translates really well to teaching anybody in your life to ride. Now that I have my little wretched stunt Grom, I'm super excited to be able to take anybody under my wing and show them how to ride a motorcycle with a bike that literally has like crash protection built into it, and I'm not worried about anybody dropping it. As you guys know, I'm studying for my basic rider course training this year. I'm going to become MSF certified to teach people how to ride motorcycles, which I'm very excited about. And having the Grom would make it even better to like bring people in and teach them and show them. I'd have a ton of fun doing that. So I think that helps a lot. And it looks like people on chat are backing me up. Scooter or Grom. Dude, yeah, that's another one too. Honestly, scooters are so sick. I wish I had one currently. I've been saying it for 2 years now that I'm going to get a scooter. I gotta do it, right? Like I gotta get a 2-stroke scoot. I have to. Or a Honda Helix. My buddy Brandon always tells me it's the greatest motorcycle ever made. So maybe get one of those. Halloween Weirdo on Instagram. Is it possible to be too easy on bikes? I don't know if mine is old or if I'm too nice to it. So I do think that some people, when they ride bikes, especially bikes that are meant to be revved out a little bit, if you don't keep them revved out, you're not using them in the way that the manufacturer designed the bike to be used. And that's going to make the bike just not really work the right way. I think there definitely is some credence to the idea of the Italian tune-up, specifically with older motorcycles. Get some of that carbon buildup out of there, blow some of the cobwebs off. I'm not saying ring it out to redline immediately after, turning the thing on, but I do think that if you're able to, ring it out a little bit. You don't have to always be really nice to it. A lot of people aren't used to how high motorcycles rev too, and so they feel like they're hurting the bike by keeping it at 8, 9, 10,000 RPM. But these things are designed to be high in the RPMs, and that's where they work best. So I think it's definitely possible to be too easy on a motorcycle, but it's also, if you overdo it and you just abuse the thing all the time, that's also pretty easy to kind of overdo it too. So, yeah. Yammie Noob on Instagram. Wait after break-in period to toss on an exhaust and ECU flash. I'm at 400 miles on a 2025 MT-07. I mean, you're only 200 miles away from the break-in, so you just do a nice weekend ride and you're already there, so that's not a big deal. But I think it's usually best practice to do the full break-in service and mileage and then do any kind of modifications to the motorcycle, especially a full exhaust and a flash and all that stuff. You're going to avoid your warranty, by the way, so if you're cool with that, whatever. But I think functionally it doesn't really matter. I think you can do it day one. I've known a lot of people who buy brand new motorcycles and prep them as race bikes, and literally day one, they'll just put on all the parts, swap everything, and then do all the break-in mileage and whatever. But I don't know, break-in's not as big of a deal as people make it out to seem, particularly with like a Japanese bike or like a more normal motorcycle. Some super high-end bikes, like certain Aprilias, BMW, for example, has their thing where they limit the revs for the first 600 miles. They take it very, very seriously. I personally think, this is just my little conspiracy theorist hat a little bit, but I personally think that's their legal department telling them to do that, not necessarily the engineering department. I think legally they're just like, hey, if we make it so that, you know, these dumb squids who buy this bike have to ride it at, you know, 8,000 RPM for 600 miles, they're less likely to kill themselves as soon as they leave the dealership, right? Less of a liability on us. That's just my, again, my conspiracy theorist brain on this. But I don't think it's a big deal. You can totally do it now. You can wait a little bit. I don't think it's going to meaningfully change the bike's reliability fundamentally, especially on an MT-07. It's going to be totally fine, I think. Sassy Sasquatch said, hey, it's the bike guy. That's me. Back Swag on Instagram. Is it a good investment to restore an older bike or buy a bike from a dealership? Okay. Motorcycles in general are terrible investments. Whether you buy them old, you buy them new, you're going to lose money. I mean, you're not losing it, you're spending it on a life experience. You have to reframe your thoughts around investments or money when it comes to motorcycling. Nobody does this to get rich, right? Like, if you start riding a bike, it's pretty much all money out and no money in. You can do it in a fiscally responsible way, where you buy a motorcycle and then, you know, you flip it or trade it for about what you paid for it and kind of like coast on by, not spending too much. But it's definitely not a good investment, I wouldn't say, to restore an older bike unless you really know what you're doing and you really understand the market. For example, if you find a barnyard Honda CBX, the old 6-cylinder bikes, and you know that you can fix it up, you understand everything about the motorcycle, you get it fixed up, you bought it for a super low price, you fix it up for not much money, and then you sold it for like, you know, 25, 30 grand or whatever. That's a decent investment, right? But I also think about it this way. Excuse me. If you were to, let's say you get this bike, you work on it for 6 months, and you profit 20 grand. I mean, that was 6 months of your time. You know, that's a lot of time to make 20 grand. If you're able to do it on the side, that could maybe work out well for you, but I think it's a big time commitment. But I don't know. It's a tough thing to say that the older bike is going to be a good investment. I think buying lightly used privately is typically always the way to go for the consumer. I buy bikes brand new because I do the giveaway thing, and I like buying them brand spanking new, and I think people get more excited about them. We've done a couple used bikes that were just too cool to pass up, but I think in your case, buying a bike straight from a dealership is going to be best. All right, boys, those are the questions. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, join on yammie.co, and you can ask me questions, and you can be featured on the streams and all that good stuff. Let's see what you guys are saying on chat here. Collectible Warrior. Yam, why do I always have every time I think of a sports bike, even though I don't have one, guessing it's time to start on a 500. Love the channel. Thanks, man. I have sport bikes get on your brain, and then that's the thing, you know? Can't get rid of them. I don't know. I still have a really big soft spot for them, especially on track. I just love them so much. All right. Come on, boys. Let's get started with the next segment. Bike roast or boast, baby. I love this segment. I have too much fun with this. Producer Logan always picks some great bikes for me, and I really appreciate it. I still don't know who this guy is in the middle. Does anybody know who this guy is? Is he famous? Who is this guy? I thought he was that dude that invented Steam. Who's that guy's name? Who's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? It's hard being a live streamer, guys. It's tough. What's that guy's name? Gabe something? I don't know. Let's get started before I lose my mind. All right. First up on the chopping block, a new 2023 Gas ES700 Enduro, $11,500. I think that's under MSRP, brand new. This guy purchased it new on September 16th, 2024. Okay. 1 mile on the bike, put on by the dealer after prep. Huh? Suspension has been resprung front and rear for a 225-pound rider plus gear. Wings, titanium slip-on exhaust, adventure spec, bars, fairings, fairing screen, Rottweiler performance, power cell, swing arm spools, carbon fiber clutch cover, CJ Designs billet, highway dirt bikes hand guards with mirrors, trickle charger pigtail, a bunch of other stuff. Interesting. Well, look at that. It's brand spanking new. This is a strange listing. Basically, somebody bought this bike in September. They dragged it through the parts catalog. They put everything under the sun on it, right? They literally put everything under the sun on this motorcycle, and they never frickin' rode it. It's got 1 mile on it. He literally never rode this bike. Why? It's suspicious. There's something about this that is kind of suspicious to me. Dude, he didn't even ride it home. Somebody just said this on chat, and I totally agree. This guy probably. Okay. Let's think this through. What are the reasons this guy could be selling this bike? Maybe he bought it and he hid it in a storage unit, and then his wife found out, and she said, "You better sell that bike. I told you couldn't get a bike. Absolutely not. Put that thing back where it belongs. Take it back to the dealership." He even had it plated. So he did plate it. He got the plates. He put the plates on. There must be some extenuating circumstance why this bike is for sale. This has to be some weird situation of why this thing is for sale. Whoever picks this thing up is getting the deal of a lifetime, though. $11,500 for a fully kitted out, prepped up gas ES700, which is basically the KTM 690 Husky 701 platform motorcycle. It's basically the same thing. It's a little lower grade, but I don't think that it's that much of a big deal. It's still pretty nice. Somebody on chat here says, spot on, the wife found it. Dude, doesn't it feel that way, right? It definitely feels like he bought it and then he's like, crap, she found out about it. But he never rode it. He never rode the bike. Dude, that's a sad story. But dude, as they say, one man's misery is another man's treasure. One man's trash, another man's treasure. This dude's misfortune is your gain if you're going to buy this thing. I really think that's absolutely. He's even got like brand new, different, freshy tires on it too. I don't think those are the tires that it comes with. Dude, that's a good deal. Original Street Squid. So divorced when he came home. Had to be, dude. He probably bought this thing and he was like, Melinda, I swear to God, I'm going to do it. And she's like, if you bring that bike back home here, I'm going to divorce you. And he called her bluff. And then she showed back up with the divorce papers. And he's like, all right, okay, you got me. The bike's going up on Craigslist. And he doesn't even have it for a crazy high price point. Because what you can do, what I've seen guys do, is they put the bike up for sale, but they'd put something like this for 20 grand. And then they tell the wife, oh, it's just not selling, I can't sell it, can't do it. So he's got it listed for a price that will probably move. This is so funny to me. So yeah, I would love to call this guy up and figure out what's happening. That would actually be a really fun thing to do on stream. Probably not legal to live stream something like that, but calling up these people and figuring out the story would be super funny. Yeah, maybe I'll find a way to do that. Okay. Moving on. 1988, Husqvarna. Did I pronounce that correctly? Husqvarna WR250. 2355. That's kind of a weird price point. Up for grabs is this dual-purpose, 2-stroke, 6-speed, liquid-cooled beast. Okay. From 88. That's pretty cool. Integrated rear utility system. Includes tool compartment, battery, USB power outlets, blah, blah, blah. Primary headlight, taillights with auxiliary LED lights. Sounds great. Price to sell at only $23.55. This is a great value for the money on this unique Desert Runner motorcycle. If the ad is up, it's available. Don't waste my time with lowball offers, etc. Nothing on Craigslist can compare to this bike in this price range. No Craigslist flakes, text brokers, or dealers. Wow, it's pretty clean. 1988, dude. Look at this time capsule. Well kept. Okay, say what you will. Husqvarna's designs are still, look at those lines. Look at that crisp black line through the tank and the way it's shaped. It still looks pretty good. If you were to put a more modern front fender on this thing, I think it could look pretty new, honestly, which is pretty sweet. Is this a 2-stroke? I don't think it is, right? WR250. Also, why is it named a WR250? Isn't that the Yamaha bike? Maybe this came out before it and then they didn't put a patent on the name or whatever. Oh, he does say 2-stroke, 6-speed, liquid-cooled beast. So, yo, this is a plated 2-stroke bike, basically, then? Okay, hold on. This thing's actually really freaking sweet, then. Plated 2-stroke motorcycle, dual sport. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. Next and all says, it's low-key what you got to expect with a near 20-year-old bike. Cheap fix, thankfully a good learning experience. Well, this bike in 88 is almost 40 years old. That's like, it's 37 years old, because in 2028, it'll be 40 years old. So that's a bit concerning. Parts availability be a bit concerning too. But it's really cool. Really, really cool. It looks like it has a brake disc cover on the front, because it looks like a disc up there. It's not drums or anything. I think the rear is a drum though, which who cares? You shouldn't be hitting the brakes if you're going fast, boy. If you're slapping ass and mixing gas on the 2-stroke, you ain't going to be using the brakes, boy. You know what I'm saying? Next and all says, I wasn't talking about the post. Oh, sorry. I just thought that, because in my mind, 1988 was 20 years ago, but what the hell do I know? I can't do math. I like it. I think it's really cool. It's a super cool time capsule bike. And honestly, the dude's got a point. $23.55 is an extremely fair price for this thing. I mean, what else? Well, how much lower could you go from that, really? I think it's pretty good. Sumo Will says, ugly. I love when people just comment, ugly. It's like you've added a lot to the discussion. I hate it. Ugly. Very funny. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, okay. I like this one, boys. I like it. Moving on. 2 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayans, $3,900. Is that for both of them? Because that's what I would pay for 2 Himalayans. Selling both of my 2021 Himalayans. Both have a 477 big bore kit. Hitchcock Stage 2 cam. Programmable NWM ECUs. Boy, he's got the laptop out. He's smashing in the digits on the air-to-fuel ratios on the Himalayan. He's going crazy on this. He's locking in the cams. He's got a mechanical adjuster. He's got everything sorted out. GPS mounts, auxiliary lights, Delcavic full stainless exhaust, aftermarket rear suspension spring, extra fuel cans, brand new off-road tires, panniers, windshield extenders, double take mirrors, couple scratches, but no major cosmetic, $39 each. So you're telling me this might be the greatest level of Royal Enfield Himalayan simping I've ever seen in my life. You completely outfitted and kitted out 2 Royal Enfields. Oh my goodness! Totally prepped for adventure. Honestly, $3,900 for each of them. That's a lot of fun for $3,900 a piece. This is actually very cool. I think somebody did this, basically to like go on an adventure with somebody else. Excuse me. outfitted the bikes the both ways. I think this is kind of funny. Like, it's kind of funny that somebody like decided to build two Himalayans the exact same way just so that they could enjoy it with somebody else. I think it's kind of cute. I hope it went to like a husband-wife duo. You know, I mean, it's Royal Enfield, right? Maybe it was a husband-husband duo. I don't know. I had to make that joke in there. Come on. But 3,900 each. The meme potentials are very high, honestly. I've been searching for something like this, not necessarily a Himalayan, but some sort of, meme potential machine like this. Who said NOS bottles on the back? Mark Dudas said NOS bottles on the back for sure, right? He's gonna blow that sucker up. I mean, he's got the 477 big bore kit and the stage 2 cam programmable NWM ECUs. This thing's probably making every bit of 26 horsepower now, boys. This Himalayan's probably putting down to the ground 26 horsepower now. Those are big boy numbers for a Himalayan, let me tell you. GPS mounts, lights, exhaust, new tires. I mean, yeah, sure. For like entry level ADV fun, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Danny Swift said definitely man on man action on those adventures. Bro, brother, we got 2 of these Royal Enfields, but I only got 1 tent we got to share. I think this listing's in Arizona, and I don't know how many Brokeback Mountains they have out there, but perhaps they did that with these 2. Lou Stella said his and hers, but she divorced him for buying 2 new bikes. Yeah, it could be that. Or it was a his and hers bike, and then they went out to ride, and she was like, oh my God, you suck at riding, and then just divorced him on the spot right there. I don't know why. I would love to do a scientific study on if motorcyclists have a higher divorce rate than other people. I feel like they do for some reason. Maybe it's just the track day scene where I'm at, but like, my God, there's so many divorced guys on the track day scene. I just want to know if motorcycling is like correlated with divorce. Is it correlation, causation? Because in this case, it may have been causation, right? But is it correlation? I don't know, but yeah. I think it's something to think about. Maybe further research is required. We should do the first ever scientific study of is divorce correlated with motorcycling? And then, what are the most divorced bike categories? Because I guarantee you, it's big bagger Harleys and big-ass BMW GSs. I bet you that the people who own small displacement bikes, dual sports, mini motos, happily married, loving life, plenty of kids, stable households. Definitely not the BMW guys, though, for sure. Up next, Yamaha Radian YX600 for $29.95. A 1986 Radian X600, 1,090 miles. What the hell? New plugs, battery, petcock, new master cylinder, newly tuned up carburetor. It's beautiful. What on earth? It's a 4-cylinder. A Radian. Boys, that's beautiful. Look at that. It's so clean. Look at the heads. Air cooled. Look at the fins. I love that font for Radian. That's super retro. Wow. I don't know, boys. I think this one, how much? $29.95? Man, it's so bad for my personality to look at these motorcycles because I just want to buy them all. I swear to God. I'm really digging this little Radian. Sean says another rollback special. Yeah, I don't know about 1050 miles on it. Or 1090. No, there's no way. There's no way. This must have been a rollback special or something, but it doesn't really look like it had mileage on it. Everything looks tip-top, really clean. I'm kind of impressed. I've never heard of this bike, the Radian. I like it. I think it's pretty sweet. Danny says VMAX. I mean, yeah, the 80s Yamaha you really want is a VMAX, but I think this is kind of cool. This is from when UJMs were starting to like go away, but they started doing these kind of weird 4-cylinder cruiser UJM things. Because you see the ergonomics on this are definitely more laid back, a little bit more cruiser. So I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I like it. Shmi said here, Yammie doing the important studies. I want to see the results. I'm gonna pin this. We have a big brainstorming document. I'm gonna pin this on my brainstorm document of like, can we determine divorce rates for motorcyclists? And if so, is it correlated with bikes? I swear to God, we're gonna get the responses. We're gonna figure this out, and it's gonna be hilarious. All right, here we go. Here we go. You guys know I'm about to simp so hard. I'm about to simp. Hold me back. I'm about to simp. Hold me back. I'm about to simp. It's a 2008 FZ1 for $4,000. Let's go. Well maintained and nicely upgraded 08 FZ1. Looks, runs, sounds, and handles great. 53,616 miles. It's not too bad for it. All right, we're going to skip through some of this. Let's see the important stuff. K-Tech fork valving, heavier springs, and new seals. Big improvement over stock. That's a nice upgrade. It's got some frame sliders, tail tidy, -1+2, front and rear sprockets. Spicy. Get that pickup. Not that that needed any help because it already has a big ol' 1000cc inline 4. Airbox, Ivan Rockland Cycles ECU flash. Big improvement over stock. Oh, this bad boy probably rips. Ignition stator cover, common failure point, speedo healer, battery, and other the coolant and the full synthetic oil. How much you want to bet this thing's just absolute money clean? How much you want to bet that this FZ1 is just perfect? Because every FZ1 that comes up for sale is perfect. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Hold me back. I'm about to sip. Hold me back. Oh, man, dude. These are so good, bro. These are so good. Owned by adults who know what they're doing. $4,000. That's so much motorcycle for $4,000. God damn. That's so much motorcycle for $4,000. J-Moto said he came. Not quite. Not quite. But this is pretty good. Pretty good. Looking good. I tell you guys all the time, these FC1s, if you get one that comes up for sale, I swear to God, everyone that owns them, own them exactly like this. They took care of them. They did the nice stuff to them. It's just clean and well set up. Man, these are gems, dude. These are so good. Do you have more pictures? That's the last one. Oh, man, dude, these are so good. I don't want to get demonetized or have the stream taken off, but I'm glad you guys can't see under this table right now. Let's just put it that way. Gorgeous. Gorgeous machine. Beautiful. Some kids, you're still not going to talk about how this motorcycle should have been recalled. Excuse me, why? Why should it have been recalled? Come on. Give me the evidence. Present your facts. We stand for the FZ1 on this stream. I don't care what you say. Come on. $4,000 for all that go fast. Come on. I'm about to flip this table with my boner. I can't say stuff like that on stream. I don't think. I have no idea what the rules are for streaming. It's much more loosey-goosey. Fluffy says, how many cc's on this bike? Say it with me. 1,000. The camera flipped right as I said that. That was funny. Jeez. Yeah, I love it. Love FZ1s. I got to get one of these days and do something. There's too many ideas floating around right now. I got to move back to Austin, set things up there, and then we're going to... This summer, boys... You ain't ready for what we're about to do this summer. We're gonna do some cool shit. I promise you. Yeah. All right, next up. 81 Honda CBX. $21,980. I just talked about this earlier on the stream about the CBX. The CBX 1000 remains a sought-after collectible. 24,808 miles. Uh-oh, we're entering La La Land territory with these. Major changes came in 81 with the B model. It was turned into a sport tourer complete with fairings and saddlebags. Engine featured significant changes, blah, blah, blah. All the bodywork, shape of the tank, all changed. The only body color available was Magnum Silver with black accents and orange-red pinstripes. Do not miss an opportunity to own this iconic motorcycle. Boy, at $21,980, even I have to kind of question the CBX. Okay, so... the thing about the CBX, boys, is that it's an inline six-cylinder, and it sounds absolutely nasty. It's one of the best-sounding motorcycles ever made. Look at that. if you thought that somebody was full mast on chat earlier for that FZ1, well, everybody's about to get gay. Just incredible. We're going to get real gay this summer. Can't wait. Going to get super gay. I'm gay for this bike. Absolutely. They're super cool, man. They're really cool. But I think the values on these are getting a little out of hand. I think they're getting a little zany with how much people want for them, excuse me. I mean, what do you, $28,800? $21,980. Put it up for auction, do a no reserve. Let's see if you can get close to that, right? It's one thing to put it out there and be like, yeah, brother, 21 G's for it. And then it just sits for a year. Nobody does anything. The only way to find out what these are really worth is put them up for auction, no reserve. No balls. You won't do it. No balls. You won't put it up, no reserve. You won't do it. You won't do it. Because you're afraid of what it's really worth, which is more like, I don't know, 14, 15. I don't know, over 20 is like, it is super clean though. It's bone stock basically, which is cool. I think it does have a pipe on it though. Yeah, it does have a pipe, but stock otherwise. Doc on Two Wheels said, do your best impression of the CBX inline 6 for us, Papa Yam. Okay, let me try. That was pretty good, right? That wasn't too bad. It's hard to imitate, okay? It sounds like a Banshee. It sounds like an F1 car. It's amazing. All right, next up. Oh my God. A 2000 Suzuki GSX 1300R Hayabusa, $7,500. That's about what I paid for mine. Original owner, 2000 Suzuki Hayabusa. Boys, oh my God. It's a verifiable Busa man has owned this. The original owner since 2000? This man probably wrote the check for this bike in 1999. That was before many of you were born. He put the chassis number on there. He's got the VIN on there. He's like, screw you, I'll put it on there. 8,000 miles on this thing. Got the inline 4, obviously we know that. Yoshimura carbon fiber mufflers, period correct, I assume. Pearl deep blue and sonic silver paint. Adjustable suspension, triple disc brake, blah, blah, blah. Side stand, new tires. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh my God. These really don't come up like this that often. Oh my Lord. There's only so much I can do here. Suma Will says he's out. You're out on the Busa? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? Get out of here. I don't want you in here if that's the case. Lord have mercy. Come on, boys. Come on, back me up on this. This is not one of the cleanest OG Busas you've ever seen. Listed for sale by the original frickin' owner 25 years later. I just noticed that sticker says, got rice. That was from like the mid-2000s when people were really big into calling Japanese cars ricers and stuff like that. Dude, come on, man. Gorgeous machine. Gorgeous. I miss my Busa. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to miss it. Dude, he's got the Arai sticker on the side. Dude, this guy is a he shouldn't sell this, honestly. He shouldn't sell it. I think it's an heirloom piece for this man at this point. I really hope he's not down on his luck and has to sell it. But y'all already know if he's owned a Hayabusa for 25 years, he ain't divorced. He never got married. He has a brothel. For sure. Everdone says, that should be $28,000, not that CBX. Right? I really think that these will appreciate. If you have a beautiful, clean Busa like this, it will appreciate over time. Because they keep blowing them up, dude. Eventually, we're going to run out of Busas because the engines keep getting, torn out of them and blown up and all that stuff. J-Moto says, relieve him of his burden, yeah. I don't know, but like, is it funny if I buy another Hayabusa? Is it interesting? goddamn, I kind of did everything I needed to do with the Hayabusa. I don't know if it would be as interesting. I don't know what I can talk about. There are other meme machines I can still buy. But I don't know. I don't think the Busa would really be that interesting. But Lord have mercy, I do want another one. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. So I did want to point out 8,000 miles on this thing. This guy barely rode it. Over 25 years. How many miles is that? Oh, Mark Judas did the math here. 320 miles per year. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. Maybe he had it sitting for a while. That would actually be a point of concern if you were legitimately looking at this motorcycle. You might say, like, did it sit for a long time? Did you put it on a battery tender? Is it got fresh? Does it have fresh gas in and all that stuff, I don't know. Danny says, don't do it for the channel, dude. Do it for you and keep her. do it for you. This one's for me, boys. This one's for me. I could really use another for me motorcycle. Honestly, the Touareg 660 was kind of that, but I got that one for free, so that was pretty cool. Maybe in the middle of this year, we'll do one for me. We'll do one for me. God, it's beautiful. All right, we've lingered on it for long enough. 2019 Husqvarna Vitpillen 401, $3,000. Like new with 11,055 miles. No dealer fees or sales tax on this one for Arizona residents. Never down, and it's absolutely no mechanical or cosmetic flaws. Clean title and ready to ride. Okay, so this one, I believe producer Logan probably put this one on the stream because I swear to God, every time we talk about buying a used $3,000 bike, and that's the way to go, every time in the comments, it's, Yam, all the bikes in my area are $5,500 on Marketplace, and I where are these magical $3,000 bikes that you keep fun? Right here. You gotta look harder. You gotta grind. Where is your Sigma Alpha Male grind set? You should be waking up at 3:56 in the morning and checking Facebook Marketplace, hitting refresh on that thing every morning until you find one of these bikes. And then you don't call them, you don't text them, you show up at their house and you say, that bike's mine now. I'm exchanging currency for your good, and it's happening right now. And they'll be like, why are you at my house? What's going on? And then you just, you ascend. You ascend, you ride the Vitpillen away, and you're finally doing the motorcycle thing. But you don't want it bad enough. You sit there and complain in the comment section. That's your problem, not mine. Sigma males wake up at 3:56 in the morning, and they buy Vitpillens for $3,000. That's my rant on this one. You gotta want it, baby. You gotta want it. It looks clean, though. It do be looking clean, though. Okay, it does look pretty clean. What is that in the corner over there? Is that some? He's got some pesticide right there. He's got some pesticide. That's nice. Look at that. Man takes care of his shit. He's like, get these bugs out of my damn garage. Freaking cockroaches coming in here all the damn time. All right, next up, Buell S3T 2002, $5,000. Buell 2002 S3T full touring package. Second owner, have all receipts for the last 18 years. No one's going to look at that. 11,400 miles, excellent maintenance, clean. Always garage runs great. Have extra windscreen, headlight bulb, turn signal, pit bull rear stand. It's time somebody else gets to enjoy it. Oh, buddy, don't have to throw us your sloppy seconds there. Ugh. Harley Davidson called. They want their paint scheme back. Was this sold like this, brand new? I have no idea. I don't know if this works for the actual. I don't know if this. I don't think they sold it with this color, right? What the hell is that? I don't know what's in that felt. What is that? It's Buell branded. What am I looking at there? Square headlight? I've never heard of this bike. I love that it's got like the big touring bags on it, though. All right, somebody tell me about this bike. I have no idea about the S3T. My knowledge is sometimes, limited, okay? I don't know everything. And this one is throwing me for a loop. What's special about it? What's unique about it? I've never heard of this bike before. I see that it's got it looks like the gas-in frame, Buell frame, giant perimeter rotor. It's got the Buell, obviously, stuff going on with it. But I don't know anything else about it. How much does he want for it? $5,000? $5,000 for a 2002 Buell? I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I'll lowball you. $3,000. Max Seabear says, good luck getting parts. Yeah. I mean, the motors are Sportster motors, right? So that should be pretty easy, but everything else is like, I don't know. Okay, next up. I just talked about it with the VidPillin. 2011 Honda CBR 250R, $2,950. 2011 Honda CBR 250R, clean title, 15,000 miles, $2,950. You don't want it bad enough. You don't. You obviously don't, because you think you're too cool. You think you're too cool to buy a 250. You're like, yeah, they're gonna clown me, Yam. They're gonna clown me. I'm gonna go to the bike meet. They're gonna make fun of me. They're gonna say, look at this little baby. Look at this little baby bike. And I was like, no, I should have bought the Ninja 500. I should have got into debt for a Ninja 500 because now they're calling me a baby at the bike meet. They're making fun of me. That doesn't happen. Having a motorcycle is cooler than not having a motorcycle. Straight up, bro. And this thing is clean. It's got the Repsol livery. It's under $3,000. 15,000 miles is nothing for these. They're indestructible. It's great. There you go. Look at that. Sub $3,000 beginner bike. I talk about it all the time. Redline ASAP. 3:56 a.m. Get your ass up. There's bikes for sale. Go get them. Yeah, these had the old school. I remember this dash, actually, because I think something else used this dash, if I remember correctly. T Nova just says, girly bike. That's exactly what would happen. You go to a bike night, you rock up, you pull off your helmet, some like Giga Chad with like a Panigale comes up and he's like, you have girly bike. And you go, no, you're going to trigger my humiliation fetish. No. Boys, it doesn't happen. Having a bike is cooler than not having a bike. You got it. Come on. Fluffy says, what's the max speed on those 250s? If you throw them out of an airplane, it's probably about 90 or 100 miles an hour. But if you're on terrestrial terra firma, maybe like 82, something like that. It's enough, if you go full tuck, maybe don't eat that extra burger or sandwich or cookies that you had at the office or whatever. You could maybe squeeze it to 84 miles an hour or something like that. But, it's pretty good. It's fast enough, I think. Boys, that's going to wrap up the Bike Roaster Boast. I hope you had some fun. I went to some places there. I really did. I think I need to do some soul searching. Anyways, it's time for trivia. Motorcycle trivia. Let's get it popping, shall we? This one's a lot of fun. Which motorcycle listed does not have a reverse gear? Harley-Davidson Road King, Honda Goldwing, BMW K1600. I know for a fact the BMW has it because I reviewed one and it had it. Then, the Honda Goldwing, I believe has one as well. So I think it's the Harley-Davidson Road King. No reverse gear. Oh, Harley-Davidson Road King does not have a reverse gear. You pay all that money. You don't even get a reverse gear. Can you believe that? Sad. Obviously the most suboptimal touring choice. Of course. Ha! Danny, you're wrong! It wasn't the K1600. I came at you kind of hot there. I'm sorry about that. All right, approximately how many Hayabusas would it take to match the weight to a Cybertruck? All right. I roughly know the weight of a Hayabusa. It's 550 pounds, something like that. And so a Cybertruck, how much do those cockroaches on wheels weigh? How much does that silver turd weigh? Was it like 6,000 pounds or something? Funny story about the Cybertruck, really quick aside. I dropped this on the Discord because somebody dropped a meme about it, and it actually was true. Some woman wrote an article that was titled, I'm sick of people flipping me off for my Cybertruck. I actually really need to own it, or something like that. And I was like, dude, there's no way this is a real article. And so I look it up, and it was a real article. You can look it up if you want to. It infuriated me. It was really funny, but also was just like, oh my God, this lady's crazy. So you just look up, I'm sick of people flipping me off in my Cybertruck. You'll find it. This woman said that she had to do like social services work, and she drove so much that she needed the Cybertruck's self-driving features, which is just preposterous on his face, right? And then she reveals that she drove 36,000 miles in 3 years, which is slightly under the average commute for an American car driver. So she's not even driving that many miles. Anyways, look that up if you want some rage bait. It had to be rage bait, but it was pretty funny. You guys have some good questions or good answers here. 11, 20, 6 or 7. I think if you do, I'm going to say 10 Hayabusas, it's a Cybertruck. Oh, 11.5. I was very close. Look at that. A Cybertruck, how it actually should look. That's the correct look for a Cybertruck, if you ask me. So it looks like it would take 11.5 Hayabusas to match that same weight. Wow, those are heavy. That is insane. That is so heavy. Terrifying, too, because of its sharp corners and how much it accelerates. It's just like a pedestrian killer. I hate those things. Question: how many bikes can you guess that won the Rider Magazine Bike of the Year award from 2015 to 2020? Oh, boy. How many bikes can you guess that won the Rider Bike of the Year awards from 2015 to 2020? I guarantee you 2015, it was the new R1. I'm going to say 2018 was the Panigale V4. I don't know. This is a really tough question. Maybe one was like the Royal Enfield Himalayan. I have no idea. Boys, I'm gonna call an audible on this one because I have no clue. I'm gonna say R1, Himalayan, and Panigale V4 are on there. Let's see. What the hell? Huh? Versus 1000, Bonneville T120, Harley Davidson Street Glide, Honda Goldwing, KTM 790 Adventure, and Indian Challenger. What? You guys are real journalists, so I'm sure you know what you're talking about, but what on earth are we smoking when we're talking about a Versus 1000 LT? It was 2015, though. It was a different time. That was 10 years ago. None of this crazy shit in the past 10 years had happened yet. We weren't even into Donald Trump's first presidency at that point, so it was a different time. Different time. Obama was president. What else is going on in 2015? Only thing I think of is political stuff. I don't know. You could still buy cryptocurrency for really cheap, I guess, if that was your thing. Question: what is the world record for the most people riding on a single motorcycle? Look at all these ducks. Oh my God. I'm a big fan. He's got ducks in the front, too. Holy crap. I got the ducks in the front, ducks in the back. He's got a lot of ducks. I'm going to say the world record for the most people on a single bike probably set unintentionally by some dude in Thailand. I'm going to say 12? Oh my God! The world record for the most people on a singular motorcycle was broken in India. I was close. With 58 people on a single bike. That's just a commute for them. It was broken in 2017 and was done by the ASC Tornadoes motorcycle team. Okay, yeah. So where is the bike? Because it looks like they're on a hoverboard or a hovercraft of some description. What is going on? Okay, so I have to tell you all this story too. So one of the funniest things I noticed, because I went to India twice in 2023. The first time I went to like the Rajasthan region in the west, and then the second time I went to the Himalayas. As many of you know, India is an extremely populated country. They have like over 1 billion people that live there, right? And you don't really notice that until you're like out in the middle of nowhere and you feel like there's nobody. Like we were at this like ancient site or whatever, and there was like, you know, like these historical artifacts and these cool like ancient ruins or whatever. And I was like, cool. We're like in this desolate, deserted place. That's really neat. Within 10 minutes, out of nowhere, there arrived, I kid you not, 20 fully loaded buses of Indian folks who came out and started sightseeing and checking it out, right? Just like, there was like an army of people there in 20 minutes that just appeared. And you started noticing, you're like, you drive to a city, and on the side of the road, there's just like 50 guys just standing around. And you're like, what are they doing? They're like 50 dudes just like kind of looking around. And you're like, man, there's just a lot of people there. And so to me, this is like it's just like an average Indian commute at this point. So it's just like, just regular India things. And I had a lot of fun both times I visited that country. It was super fun and interesting. And I would love to go back someday. But the people there, it's like, holy crap, dude, they are to the gills with folks, to the gills. Okay, let's see here. What American motorcycle company is this review for? 1 star. I've been in a lawsuit with this company for over 3 years now, and they refuse to pay what they owe me. I am a small girl who wanted a bike that sat close to the ground and would be a great learning bike for someone my size. Instead, I got a POS that fell apart before the 150-mile mark and left me stranded on the road multiple times for hours. My husband also purchased one of these bikes at the same time I did, and his Swift lever fell off mid-ride. The clutch cable broke, the battery melted, and the overall cheap wiring caused major electrical issues. All this happened before the bike was even a year old. These are just some of the examples we have led us to a lemon lawsuit with blank. I'm going to say it's Janus Motorcycles. Is it Janus? It's either Janus or Cleveland Cycle Works. I'm going to say Janus. Because Harleys are bad, but they're not this bad. I've never heard of a Harley's battery melting off the dealership floor. I mean, say what you will, they're built a little better than that. Not by much, but a little better. I'm going to say Janus. Cleveland Cycle Works! I was right! I said that! Okay, I guess 2 different companies, but, whatever. These guys were hilarious, man. They used to just, like, import these crappy China bikes and just, like, make them look a little bit more scramblery or whatever. It's like total crap bikes, though. Total crap bikes. What are the professions of the 4 main characters in the 2007 film Wild Hogs? What are the professions? I think I'm going to guess doctor, dentist, accountant, and lawyer. Oh, I was close. Plumber, lawyer, dentist, computer programmer. God damn, is Wild Hogs really from 2007? That was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago. Holy crap. And that's it, boys. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream today. I hope you had some fun. I tried to bring you the best energy for today. I had a really good time. I think we had some good laughs. I think we shared something, and you learned something. If you ever hear anybody on chat or in the comments or in real life telling you, I can't find a $3,000 motorcycle, remind them of the Sigma Male grind set of waking up at 3:56 in the morning and exchanging currency for your motorcycle and getting the deal done, boys. It's possible. I swear to God. I know bikes are expensive, but you can still find those deals. I promise you. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Goodbye.